I felt the first shot like a punch to the gut. It knocked the wind out of me, but it was the second one that changed everything. Time didn't slow down, it shattered. I hit the pavement hard. My body jerked backwards, blood leaking through my shirt, pooling beneath me like ink soaking into concrete. And as my head slammed down, I caught one last look. A green flash. A twisted smile. Teeth too wide, eyes too empty. And then I knew. It wasn't just some stranger. It was my own gang. My brothers. The same people I bled for, paid someone to take me out. For what? Jealousy? Power? Doesn't matter. They did it. And the moment that bullet ripped through my chest, I started falling. Not just backwards, downward. My body collapsed in one direction, but my soul was yanked into another. The light faded. The noise faded. But what replaced it wasn't peace. It was something darker. Something aware. The darkness wasn't empty. It watched me. It waited. And then it opened its mouth. I didn't grow up dreaming about the streets. The streets raised me. My mom was addicted to crack before I ever learned how to spell my own name. Dad? Never met him. So I became the man of the house by the time I turned 7. There were 3 of us, me, my little brother, and my baby sister. And every night I prayed that the screams from the hallway would stop. That my mom would come home sober. That I wouldn't have to steal again just to keep the lights on. But nothing changed. Kids at school laughed when I showed up with busted shoes and hand-me-downs. Called me names. So I stopped caring. And when you grow up in that kind of brokenness, loyalty becomes your only currency. So I joined a gang. Not for status. Not even for power. I joined to survive. To feed my siblings. To make sure we didn't starve. And I was good at it, too good. I rose fast. Ran money. Kept my mouth shut. Learned how to move weight without leaving a trail. I wasn't just a street soldier, I became a strategist. Dangerous. Respected. Untouchable. Church. That was a joke. I used to laugh at preachers on TV. God was for old ladies and suckers. Me? I had demons that paid me in cash. But I didn't just flirt with darkness. I married it. My Cuban side of the family introduced me to things no child should see. Sweat tents, animal sacrifices, blood poured over foreheads, chanting in languages I didn't understand. I thought it was culture. I thought it was tradition. Until one night, when I was 9 years old. I saw her. She rose out of the smoke like a statue melting into flesh. Beautiful, yes, but wrong. Too perfect. Too still. She looked straight at me without blinking. And in that moment, every cell in my body screamed. I knew what I saw wasn't human. And I've been running from it ever since. Until the night I got shot. And the darkness finally caught up. It was the summer of 2009. Hot, sticky, loud, just another night in Chicago. Me and my best friend George were gearing up for the weekend. We'd just hit a few stores downtown, new jeans, fresh white tee, some designer shoes. Club night tradition. Look sharp, roll deep, make noise. But something felt off. I noticed this dude outside the clothing store, leaning against a wall like he was waiting for something. Didn't think much of it at first, until we saw him again. Different part of town. Same exact stare. Same smirk. My stomach twisted. I told George, "Yo, this guy's following us." He laughed. Said I was paranoid. "Bro, you smoke too much. Ain't nobody checking for you like that. You the president now?" I laughed too, tried to shake it off. Maybe he was right. Maybe I was just high. But later that night, we rolled back to my building to change before the club. And guess who was sitting on the steps outside? Same guy. Same grin. Like he'd been waiting all day. Still, nobody cared. Everyone was too busy hyping the night. Music. Girls. Party vibes. But something in my gut screamed danger. So I stepped outside. Walked up to him. "Hey man, you good? I've seen you around all day. Do I know you?" He didn't answer. Just pulled a blunt from his mouth and said, "Got a lighter?" I nodded. Reached into my pocket. And the second my fingers touched metal. Bang. The first shot didn't even register. It was like my body knew before my mind did. Warmth flooded my stomach. My knees buckled. Then I looked up. That smile, too wide. His eyes weren't even human. And in that split second. Bang. The second shot lifted me off the ground. Everything turned to static. I didn't just fall, I was ripped from myself. My body crashed to the pavement, but I kept falling. Not physically. Not in a way you can measure with distance. But inward. Downward. Through something far worse than gravity. There was no tunnel of light. No peaceful drifting. Just an instant plunge into a living darkness. And this darkness? It wasn't quiet. It howled. I could hear the screams. Not with my ears, with my soul. The smell hit next. Rotting flesh. Burned hair. Sulfur. So thick it clung to my thoughts. I couldn't cover my nose. I didn't have a nose anymore. And the sound. It was like being inside a billion broken radios. Each one tuned to pain, rage, and regret. But the worst part wasn't what I heard. It was what I felt. Sadness, so pure, so endless, it cut deeper than the bullet ever could. Like the entire weight of every sin I ever committed was being sewn into my soul, stitch by stitch. And then the speed picked up. You think light is fast? Try falling at the speed of thought. Before I could even wonder where I was already deeper. No beginning. No end. Just this gnawing sense that I had crossed a line you don't come back from. And somewhere far below, something was waiting. I thought I'd already lost everything. My body. My breath. My place on earth. But that was just the beginning. In this darkness, I was stripped again. This time, it wasn't flesh. It was memory. It was laughter. It was identity. Gone. My name, my face, my past, peeled away like layers of skin. Time didn't exist here. Seconds didn't tick. Years didn't pass. It was all now. Always now. And then I saw it. A flicker. A tiny glow in the distance. Hope. A way out. I moved toward it. Or maybe it pulled me. There's no walking in this place, only being dragged. The glow grew. Became a circle. A molten well. The heat came first. Then the vibration. And then I was yanked in. Not just my essence, my entire being. Mind. Thought. Soul. Sucked into a furnace with no walls, no floor. Only existence. Pure, raw, screaming existence. And inside this well, stones floated like planets. Glowing orange, white hot, pulsating with rage. They weren't just rocks. They were alive, watching. Everywhere I looked, shapes. Not human. Not animal. Just teeth without faces. Eyes without lids. Bodies that shifted like smoke and bone. And then the noise. The screaming. It didn't come from around me. It came through me. Voices. Millions of them. Each locked in their own torment. And worse. I could hear every thought. I could feel what they felt. Every betrayal. Every regret. Every moment they cursed the name of God. Their hatred wasn't whispered, it was roared. Every syllable a stab through eternity. And still, no one looked at anyone else. No comfort. No companionship. Just isolation. Hell isn't fire. Hell is awareness. It's full consciousness. In a realm where God no longer exists. And you realize. Every good thing you took for granted was from Him. And now it's gone. Forever. At some point, if you can even call it that. I stopped struggling. Because I started to understand. This wasn't chaos. This was order. This was justice. I wasn't here by mistake. There was no trial. No gavel. No angel reading my file. I had sentenced myself. With every lie. Every deal. Every soul I stepped on to climb higher. I mocked Jesus. I laughed at preachers. I called God a myth. But in hell, you don't need to believe in God. Hell believes in you. And I remembered it all. The way I used people. The loyalty I demanded, but never gave. The violence. The pride. The blood. So much blood. I saw the faces of people I hurt. Some of them are still alive, walking this earth. Never knowing they were haunted by me. And then. I felt it. Myself, unraveling. Molecule by molecule. Not burning. Melting. Not like wax, like meaning. Like I was being erased from history, from memory, from creation itself. And yet. I was still aware. That's the cruelty of hell. You don't die. You just keep dissolving. Piece by piece. Forever. I don't know how long I was there. Maybe time doesn't move in hell. Maybe it moves so fast it becomes eternal stillness. But just when I felt completely consumed, I heard something. A whisper. Not from around me, from within me. Barely a thread of memory. It was my grandmother's voice. Soft. Steady. Saying that same bedtime prayer she used to whisper over me as a boy. Lord, protect him, even when he runs. And in that instant, the flames screamed. The entire pit recoiled. Like it knew something was coming, something it hated. Then I said it. Not out loud. Not with breath. I remembered his name. Yeshua. And the moment that name formed inside me, the walls of hell shook. Like thunder cracking through a tomb. Like the name itself ripped a hole through the dimension. And then, something grabbed me. Not gently. Not with kindness. It yanked me out like a warrior pulling a man from quicksand. Flesh, soul, and memory came rushing back like a flood. I shot upward, through fire, through darkness, until I was above my own body. I was hovering. Watching paramedics surround me. One with the paddles. Another calling out vitals. But none of that mattered. Because beside me, radiant, still, unmoving, stood an angel. No wings. No halo. Just authority. And all he said was, "He isn't done with you." And in the blink of an eye, I was slammed back into my chest. And I gasped. Like a man being born and buried at the same time. I woke up in the hospital 2 days later. The doctors called it a miracle. Said I had no pulse for almost 4 minutes. No brain activity. No oxygen. Flatline. But somehow, I came back. They asked what I saw. I couldn't tell them at first. Because there aren't words for what I left behind. Physically, I was a mess. Ribs shattered. Stomach torn. Scars the size of quarters stretched across my torso. But spiritually, I'd never felt clearer. I left the gang the moment I could walk. Packed a single bag. Left the city. Never looked back. Moved to a small town where no one knew my name. Started writing, first just thoughts, then pages, then my first book. And then one day, I picked up a mic. I didn't plan it. Didn't script it. Just shared the truth. What I saw. What I heard. And what I barely escaped. Now I go wherever I'm invited. Churches. Schools. Rehab centers. Even prisons. And I tell them all the same thing. You don't need to believe in hell. For hell to believe in you. And if you're alive right now, breathing, watching, doubting, that means you still have time. Time to turn around. Time to surrender. Time to ask the one who saved me, to come save you. Because I've been where you're headed. And I can promise you this. It's real. It's waiting. And it never forgets. You think hell is punishment? Let me tell you something that might break your theology. Hell is mercy compared to what's coming if we stay blind. I'm not talking about religion. I don't care what church you go to. I'm talking about reality. Because the world we're living in now. The signs are everywhere. Rivers turning blood red. Nations rising and falling overnight. Floods. Fires. People celebrating what should make them weep. And the worst part? Most of us don't feel anything anymore. We scroll past suffering like it's just another notification. But I've seen what apathy leads to. I've lived what rebellion creates. And I'm telling you, there's no middle ground anymore. It's light or darkness. Freedom or chains. Yeshua, or the pit. Don't wait to find out if I'm right. Don't bet your eternity on your feelings. If I could go back, if I could unsee what I saw, I would. But I can't. So I'm giving you this for free. This truth. You don't get judged when you die. You're judged by how you lived. The verdict? It's already written. You just haven't arrived at the courtroom yet. If you're still breathing, you've still got a shot. Doesn't matter where you've been. Doesn't matter what you've done. This isn't about fear. This is about love. The kind of love that pulled me out of a pit I chose for myself. The kind of love that still whispers your name when the world has forgotten you. The kind of love that doesn't need you to be perfect. Just honest. So, ask him. Ask Yeshua, Jesus, to take over. Not just your Sundays. Your life. Ask him to manage your thoughts. Your habits. Your decisions. Give him your pride, your pain, your past. And don't just believe in him. Belong to him. Because the devil doesn't care if you go to church. He only cares if you change. And hell is full of people who thought they had time. Don't be one of them. You don't need fancy words. Just this one. Help. If you whisper it, he'll hear it. If you mean it, he'll answer. Because no one is too far gone. Not even someone like me.